Guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see that I have moved away just from producing musics, and I think this is a new update for my channel that there will be not just only music themed videos and shorts coming up. There will be also other updates like other part, literally everything that I think I should post, I should upload. I will be uploading from now on this channel. So if you are new to this channel, do subscribe and like and share. And those who are already a subscriber, those 83 subscribers, thank you very much for supporting me. And I would very much encourage you to share it with others, especially this topic. If you find like someone needs the help on this, then you can definitely share it. Delaying will not be entertained in this channel. So let's get into the point. As you can see on your screen right now, HMUN procedure. So basically, I have done MUNs a lot, and if you are very much interested in MUNs, you will might likely know this term HMUN. You are very much familiar with it, and if you are not, it is not like it is mandatory for you to know. So if you're not, then you will have to get a good through this, because this one is a little bit you know unfamous procedure, because mostly we follow the UN for MUN and UNS USA format, mostly in India, but in foreign I'm not that sure because I've just attended one international and that was also an HMUN. Anyway, getting back to the main business here. So yes, what is HMUN? So yes, it is a ROP. If you are have done an MUN for first time, if you are a beginner right now, I will say that you don't see this video because it will just confuse you. But if you are a first one-time experience or two-time experience, you will be very much be helpful for this type of procedure. Although I'm not guaranteeing that most of the committees will follow this procedure because it's not real actually followed. Mostly the famous are the UN for MUN and UNA USA format. For the ones who are beginners who have not started, even I would recommend you to not follow this video right now. I will be uploading more videos soon. So yes, as I was saying that HMUN, this is a procedure that was actually originated from the Harvard University, back in 1953 for the simulation of the model United Nations. So first thing that I must clear in this is that MUN and Model United Nations, that is, and UN are different. So the procedures are not that accurate, but we try to follow the most accurate procedures that are easy to understand for the even the newcomers or even the ones who have done about middle experience MUNers. So this is what it is, and let's go for the next slide. So yes, as I will start right now to explain you what are the procedures. I hope that you have got the basic thing of HMN. What is it? It is actually the rules of procedure, and it is basically how your committee runs. So once you go through your committee, your chair will be following that particular procedures. Also, I will remind you that not all chair follows blindly the format. Whatever I am telling you in this video right now, they might not follow blindly, or they might follow a little bit different or deviated part of achievement. So you just the main basis of this video is to give you a general idea about how achievement procedure works. So getting back to it, first of all, yes, every time every format follows this is the roll call. So what is roll call? Basically, like we're in classroom, in school. If we're in school, you always reply, sir, present ma'am, present sir, absent or something like that, right? So attendance is mandatory everywhere in official uh, domains. So this is a mandatory part. And in roll call, first of all, uh, you have to be not be aware you have to be aware that your name will be not called. You have to be aware that your delegation will be called, that is the country that you're representing, so you don't expect your name to be called on the attendance. So obviously this is a very basic thing that most of the beginners know, obviously. But yes, if beginners are seeing, although I recommend not to see, then you will be a little bit helpful with this, so that you can just develop the confidence here. And yes, what are the three options there actually. There are three options that you can call on the roll call. Whenever the chair calls your country's name, you can say present, present and voting. And if you miss the committee by any chance, I hope you don't, but if you miss the committee by any chance, any another emergency has came and you could not attend the committee, both online and offline, you will be marked absent. And every session has a roll call, it's not like the first session will have the roll call and then the whole day there will be no roll call. Every session will have the roll call. So if you miss the first session and you think like, oh, I will not go, I have missed it, basically I'm talking about online, you should join the other session because they will definitely have another roll call. I'm not sure though, but mostly every EBs they do it. Now, your question will be mostly if it doesn't happens, but if the question is that why there is two different thing, present and voting. It is very simple. If you say present, you are not sure what you will vote. I mean, there is a resolution or communique is for term same as resolution, but it is used for UNSC. They prefer it for UNSC, that is United Nations Security Council. So you vote for it. I mean, if you say present, then you are in a not sure or not committed position. You mean you can abstain the resolution. Mostly the keyword that differentiates present with present and voting is abstaining. So if you say present, then you will be applicable for abstaining the resolution when it's going to be passed and your vote requires for that, you can abstain then. So when can you use it? I mean, I have seen many delegates who usually don't do it, but many I have seen like they just say present because they think they will be playing safe sides. But no, if your country is determinant, dominant, and actually aligned with one of the sides of this committee's agenda, you cannot bring out that present. It will showcase that your country is weak. So if and only if your country is highly neutral like India for a reason, because I had UNSC when I had the debate, my agenda was Israel-Iran conflict and obviously India was neutral. So I definitely started each of the roll call with present, not present and voting. So it is mainly when you have to have a good relation with both the sides. But if you have only good relation with one of the side, but still you say present, it will be a weak impact for your representation. As although most EBs they ignore it, but some EBs they are very very particular about this type of body languages and um, characters and this type of processes. So yes, I mean you have very much understood that what will be the next. That is present and voting will be when you have full commitment that yes, I will be definitely voting for the resolution. I will not back away from voting it either for or against, but you will be voting. You are sure that it is usually a bold move actually. As I told you before, also if your country is perfectly stance are perfectly matching that it only supports one of the country's conflict like if I say about Lebanon, it will be definitely be supporting, Iran. It will not be supporting Israel. So if you are a delegate of Lebanon and your agenda is, which I said, Israel-Iran conflict, you will be definitely be saying present and voting because you know that you will be supporting, Iran's in the resolution. So you don't want anything for Iran to go bad in the resolution, right? So I guess this is clear about roll call. So next, let's move to the next slide. Opening speech. This is where the surprise comes for the immuners who have done UN for MUN and UNAS USA. You will mostly confuse it with the GSL. I mean, most of them, even I myself, have thought that it was basically a GSL, and I started to prepare. Unless you don't see it properly, you will know that opening speech is completely different from GSL, and it is only very much applicable for this procedure, the HMUN, not in UN for MUN and UNAS USA MUN. So here basically you are asked to point out or showcase your stance and policies for that particular agenda that is given to you. And mostly every delegate actually, not mostly every delegate are asked to, deliver opening speech because it will be a good impact. It is the start of your marking actually. So if you miss the opening speech, it's a really bad impression for the uh, chair. Also, avoid giving solutions because you might be seeing some videos in the YouTube's coming like how did I win the best delegate, how I win, I won by saying, giving solution oriented speech and everything. See, that is applicable for UN for Immune and USA, procedure, but it is not applicable for the opening speech. Here you use the maximize of your time, giving your political stance and political policies, like what you have done, what you have wants to do, and what is your country's stance. Like, are you neutral? Are you supporting this country or like that? So you can give solutions, but avoid it, I will say. And mostly the duration is 90 seconds, as you can see it in the screen. So at max, if the EB has seen that the strength of the comedy is a little bit low, then he will say 2 minutes or maximum 3 minutes. I don't think they will tell 3 minutes. And yes, not like GSL that continues in every session. It is the one time opening speech. Like once it is completed, it won't be you won't be getting another chance to give opening speech. Like if you miss the opening speech platform, you will never get it. And once it starts, it should be ended before moving to another procedure. So I guess this is clear with you. Next, let's move to GSL. Now, basic difference between GSL in HMUN. You will be a little bit shocked to seeing that what is written here in GSL. GSL is mainly for HMUN. It is mainly that you can speak any topic, but you have to be related to the agenda. You cannot move away from the agenda. Like it's going between Iran and Israel. You should not go and talk about USA and Venezuela. You should not do that. You should be related to that topic, but you can say anything on that topic. So it is general speaker list obviously, and duration is 90 seconds as you can see. But yes, it doesn't matter. It depends on the EB what time he wants to give, depending on the strength of the you know committee. Next, you have to note that you can give as many speeches of GSL you want. Unlike in the main, UNA, USA, and UN for Immune, here you can give as many speeches as you want, and in every session, except the one obviously where you give the opening speech, right? Except that one, all the sessions that will be taking part in, 2 day or 3 day Immune, the floor always opens at least three GSL speakers on the start of every session, except the first one. I'm telling you again, the opening speech one. Except that, all the other sessions that will be opening up, you will be given a chance to speak of GSL. If there is a time problem, time constraint, then there will be maximum three GSLs. But if there is time enough for the committee, then you will be given GSL. You will be allowed to give GSL in every session, and I encourage you to take part in every session, because the more you give the GSL, the more you get attracted to the committee. People starts to take you seriously, and you have to always put good points in your GSL. Obviously, you cannot go away from the related topic. Also, you need to keep in mind that once you gave a GSL in that particular session, like the second session, if you gave the GSL and you thought it's done, no, it's not done. If the EV thinks like, yes, I can allow entertain another GSL from you, he will allow you to speak again if there is time, if time allows. So mostly if the list of the GSL is less, like most of them are not willing to speak, then you will get another opportunity to speak if you want. And I will say I will recommend you to do it, but if don't force it. Like you have to speak, don't think of that. You have to speak for every session, but you don't speak every time in particular session twice. If you don't wish to or you don't have any content ready, don't force yourself to speak. And yes, the pattern is very much familiar area. What is it? It is assertion, reason, examples, and analysis format. What is it? I will be making another video for it, but I hope the experienced examiners already know about it. So next, moving to the next topic is moderated caucus. Oh, I forgot for the first. In HMN, you have to submit your position papers about 3 days before your committee starts. So that's a very important thing. So you make a position paper. How to make it? There are a lot of videos in YouTube. I will be definitely putting my own video on the how to make position papers. So you have to make it, and there are awards for your position paper as well. So you have to take that seriously, not just depending on AI and other things. Coming back to moderate caucus, you know very much about what is moderate caucus. It is a formal way of debating in a particular subtopics from the given agenda of the committee. So it comes to motion whenever a delegate passes it, and only when the chair asks for the motion. Like some guys get fooled, by say, they get laughed on the committee when the uh, chair usually deliberately says any points to the floor, and then the guys raises their hand. Yes, the delegate of this has want to pass a motion, and you get laughed. Like EB will say like, why I did not ask about motion, I asked about points. So don't confuse between points and motion. So points are basic um, things that the chair asks before starting another motion. Motion is when you pass a moderate caucus or an unmoderate caucus, or you want to adjourn the meeting and anything like that. So only when the chair asks you raise a motion, don't be over smart and start making motions when he or she is asking for just the points, like you have any inquiry or you have any problem for that. What is points? I will be explaining in another video. So right now I'm focusing on HMUN. So usually what is a moderate caucus working process here is a little bit different. You have to look on this, and I think most of them follows this because only in India I have seen till now the offline emails I have done. I have not seen this much seriousness in this type of topics. They usually have casual, approach to this out of this. But yes, you will be allowed at max three motions to be passed. If the EB has doesn't want more, wasting of time, and he will take three, you know, motions, like one motion about this subject sub agenda, another motion has been passed of another sub agenda. Both the countries can do it. So now three motions are already taken. Now how will you choose one? So you will say like three only. We will take three. No, that's not the case. The If the second session has entertained the motion of moderate caucus, three moderate caucus will be allowed or entertained, and from them, the most disruptive one will be chosen. Now, what is disruptive? That is the most number of speakers that are allowed in that motion passed by the delegate. Now, to answer you what is disruptive, let's explain you in a minute. But before that, I will be telling you that at least three motions are allowed to be passed every session when the chair wants to start a moderated caucus. So, if in session one you gave a motion, you can also give a motion on session two also. I mean session three also, and session four also, and next day also. So usually they take three motions. So each session you will be entertained with three motions, and one will be chosen as moderated topics, and then that session will be on that particular moderated caucus topic. So you can have as many moderate caucus as you want until the chair feels like it's going too much and they want to get to the resolution. So and now let's get back to how to explain the disruptive. Now see, you have to use your brain here very much. Some people like to impress the EB, to show that we are not taking much of your time, valuable time. They choose, like you can see in the example, like if you choose 10-minute duration of moderated caucus with speaking time of 2 minutes, just to impress the EB, you just have reduced your duration of the moderate caucus by 10 minutes. Remember this, that unless the EB recommends that you have a less time duration, do not over smartly choose that you have a less time duration. Choose a more time duration. And also how, look at that. Like if you choose 10 minutes with speaking time of 2 minutes, you will be having only 5 speakers on your moderate topics that you passed. But if your opponent who has chose 15 minutes with a speech time of 1 minute, you will be having 15 speakers. So imagine 10 difference. So obviously that will be more disruptive, and we will obviously be entertaining that motion more, because it will be giving you a more opportunity for the other speakers to speak, right? And hence that will be a disruptive one. Also, one thing that you must remember is you can have the choice. If your motion is passed, you have the choice to deliver your speech at first or at last. And since the moderated caucus is a little bit, suddenly the topic are said, it is not decided earlier. So you, unlike the other where you decide the topics a lot earlier, here you will be suddenly coming to that topic. So it will test your research and everything, how ready you are to instantly make a speech. So I will tell, like, no need to make such structured speech. Whatever coming in your mind, maintaining that you don't use personal words like we, I, you. Except that if you maintain the even decorum and give your speech on your whatever is coming on your mind, the EV will be more than happy to give you marks. But don't use AI in the short time. It will be definitely demating your marks. And also, in middle, the speakers who wish to speak will be listed up, and you can speak more than once, except the one who has passed the motion, because you have to speak only once and only for once. Others, you can give more than one speech on that particular mod topic. And yes, POIs will be entertained, and there will be debate, but I am not sure that debate will be allowed in a moderated topic. Discussion will be allowed, but debates are, I think, allowed in unmoderated topic. Next comes the unmoderated caucus. You're very much aware of what is unmoderated caucus. It is a very informal discussion where you get up from your seat and you just talk normally with the other, making allies, making negotiations, and every other thing. And how about you? Like you can have a debate if you want to have a debate which is not like rigid and in a proper MN procedure. You want to have a proper safe, like easy debate. Then you choose unmoderated caucus for a debate. And mostly unmoderated caucus is also used for your writing your solutions, writing your draft as well. So yes, that is what unmoderated caucus is. You can also you'll always pass it like the way you pass moderate caucus for a duration of 20 minutes, but you don't say obviously any speaker speech time. Coming to the semi-moderate caucus. Now, this is might be a new term for many of you because you might not know it. I also first personally, when I first came through this, I did not know what is. It is very much simple. It is a moderate caucus, moderate caucus only. But here the rules are not that rigid. Like you have to maintain your decorum and sit there, but you don't have to follow all the rules of asking question, like a point of information, to what points do the delegate of India rises, to point of order. Like these things you don't need to say there. Just get up and start talking and interrupt anyone, ask follow-up questions and everything like that only. So it is basically used for debate when the EB wants that the committee maintains a civilized manner of debate rather than shouting and targeting and blaming each other. So then only we use that semi-moderated caucus, and mostly I have seen that most TV doesn't recommend it. But yes, it's their personal opinion. But I think it's the best way to deal with debates on the immune, because mostly many of the experienced ones start taunting the EBs that mm, the committee is going boring, no debate and all. So if you are an EB and you are listening to this video, you can definitely pass this semi-moderated caucus so that they can have the debate, but they maintain it in a decorum and disciplined way. Next, resolution drafting, very easy thing. Obviously, the main aim to actually your committee is that this is where you come to at the last of the committee. So the main aim of the committee and meeting and your speeches and everything is for this thing, resolution drafting, your solutions or your stances and everything like that only. Mainly solutions, and you draft them on paper. So you can see what is paper or Google Docs. So it is basically depends on the EV. But main thing is that you have to have an unmoderated caucus to decide the solution. So there will be a given unmoderated caucus by the EB or you, when one of you pass the motion, and then you can have that solutions, ask the others to include your solutions in the draft and everything. And then once the negotiations and everything over, like your points are already there in the resolutions and everything, then you can the EB comes back to the chair and he starts saying that it's over and let's move to voting. So once the resolution drafting is ready, we move to the voting procedure. Now that is called resolution voting. And now comes that thing that I told you at the first of the video, roll call impact. Like if you said present, you are able to extend that resolutions. Like if it doesn't looks like you will be, if you go for or against, it looks like you're violating your stance, your country's policy, then you can abstain it. That will be much appreciated. And if you have written or if you have said present and voting, that means you have to say either for or against. If you say abstain, you will not be entertained, you will be forced to say for or against. So with that, it comes to an end. And the most important thing that I think is, many of you present, you just say for the resolution, like you support the resolution. So many I have seen, like last UNSC committee that I attended, many of the countries, like they were supporting the supporting Iran, while their countries officially don't, they are against it. And yes, even USA has supported to pass the resolution. Think Iran is getting benefited and USA is happily accepting it. So that is what you have to maintain. I have said again, I was India, and I felt like some of the procedures were, hurting the Israel sovereignty. So that's why I said abstain, or against, you can say, obviously. So I said against actually, because India doesn't tolerate any, sovereignty problems. But you have to understand, just following every other people about what they're voting is not the way you do. You understand what is your country's, stance, and then you choose this voting. So yes, this is it about this video, and I guess you understand it and you helped it a lot for your understanding. And mostly this type of committees in HMUN, you will be having crisis committee also. And what is crisis and everything and directives, I will be explaining in the next video. Till then, thank you for watching, and do subscribe and like, because the efforts should not go in vain. And I hope it will be very much helpful for you all. Till then, meet you in the next video. Bye bye.